For today's Fantastic Four Media Report, this is the comic version of Fantastic Four 19, At the Mercy of Rama Tut, the Pharaoh of the Future. To help me analyze this for you is my boss.
Hello, hello.
And of course, my erstwhile pal, my very own Rama Tut, Shades.
Greetings, good people.
We'll start with Shades.
I liked it. I didn't think I would like it. I don't know if I'm changing or if the stories are changing, but for some reason, I liked it. I should not, but I did. I found myself actually enjoying it.
Boss?
I enjoyed it. Out of all the ones we've done within this set, I think this one is a little weaker. I did enjoy just the more bits of like talking points that they have and stuff like that.
It was kind of a nothing episode because it all goes nowhere.
I really like the story. It's really a unique view on the time travel because you have Rama Tut purposely erasing himself from the timeline. That's not happened before. I would agree with Ryan that it's weaker than the Super Scroll. I really thought it was a fun story nonetheless. I think it really deepens the Thing Alicia connection. It shows how committed the entire four are to Alicia, because the reason they go back into the past is to get her sight. And that's with her even saying, look, if it's going to be risky, don't do it.
I feel like it would have hit a little harder and it would have been stronger if at the end of it we did actually get the cure.
You can't bring radiation through the Doom time machine.
Well, there you go.
Which is new. I did not know that. That perpetual homeostasis, nothing is allowed to really change. Alicia is not allowed to get her eyesight back, though they will jerk that around a bit, though, won't they?
Oh, they do, definitely. Yeah. Silver Surfer
gives her eyesight and actually makes her kind of cosmic, you know.
This story does have ramifications. Later. It's not obvious here because Rama Tut is...
Ramifications.
Right, Rama. Yeah, exactly. Because Rama is Kang. They mention here that Rama might be related to Doctor Doom or be Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom. That's interesting.
That's what they play off of later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What we had here is a different use of powers. Now, not for Thing and not for Johnny or Sue. We want to talk about the one that really stood out as in using different abilities. Reed Richards became a wall to block spears that were being thrown at by an Egyptian army.
That's right.
He also became a water wheel, was able to float on the water. He did some of the usual stuff like the stilt legs, and he also did the stretching out and grabbing stuff. But he had three particular forms that he's never had before.
Yeah.
He used all four of his limbs to grab onto spokes on the chariots, cause the chariots to go in a circle.
They all landed on soft sand.
Soft sand.
Nobody was really hurt.
See, Reed is very careful. What do you think of the three new forms that Reed showed?
I like him. I like to see him get development, especially because you can do a lot with someone who is elastic. He can form himself into most things. He can stretch out and do whatever he wants with his body. His mind is his playground, pretty much.
What about you, Shades? What do you think of Mr. Fantastic's new ability?
I have a question for Jack, who knows all things. Did Reed Richards ever get pierced? Ever? Has he ever been shot where the bullet went through him like it would go through us, or a knife, or anything?
They said that Wolverine's claws might be able to pierce him.
But it's never happened.
It never actually happened.
Never happened. Okay.
That's interesting to think about.
Yeah, it is.
So then that means like other adamantium might be able to?
Might be able to pierce him.
He's almost indestructible.
He's kind of jellyish.
He's kind of jelly.
So that adamantium bullet that Wolverine gets hit by, would that possibly go through him?
That's possible.
That's a good question.
We don't know for sure, but
that's an interesting question to think about.
Here's another difference. Reed, Sue, and Johnny all age. Ben does not age when he is in the rock form. Only when they turn him back to Ben Grimm does he age at all. In this story, he would have aged a couple of minutes, right? Because he becomes Ben Grimm. Yeah. So Reed's not completely indestructible. He's not Plastic Man, where Plastic Man is immortal.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of Plastic. One of the greatest episodes with Reed Richards was when, I guess it was episode 198, where Dr. Doom has Richards going into space to get his powers back so Doom can clone him and
it's 197 is what you're
and he puts it into... Anyway, but it was great because the Red Ghost ends up on this space shuttle with Reed Richards. And it was so awesome. It's great art, great story. But Reed Richards is showing amazing abilities. He gets shot by this meteor blaster thing, and he elastically pushes it back. It's just
Like
awesome
slingshots
stuff.
it back.
Yeah.
Ryan, your favorite character is the Human Torch. I want to get your opinion on how Johnny is handled in here.
He becomes a court jester, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, for acting so silly, I wish he got more jokes throughout this story, as usual.
Don't you feel humiliated for him, though? I mean, the poor guy.
He does become a court jester when they are hypnotized. Well, they're not really hypnotized, but when they're controlled
physically
by Rama Tut's ray gun.
Well, he does this kind of stuff on the normal when he's out just like, entertaining the school children and stuff like that. So, I mean...
This is different, though.
But
Look
again,
at
now
that.
he doesn't like it because he's being forced to do it.
He's a kid, so he likes cutting up with his power. You're right. He's being forced to do it. That's a different thing altogether. When Johnny is clowning, okay, with Ben, like the scene earlier when Thing's going to light his cigar and Johnny sets it on fire, right? They're clowning around. They're horsing around. It's fun. As a kid, he'll do goofy things like that. Here, he's being purposely demeaned. The Thing is turned into a slave, so his best friend has become a slave. His sister is forced to marry the guy who did it. His brother-in-law, who Johnny respects, is now nothing more than a weapon for their military.
A lookout.
Yeah, he's a lookout and then later on a defensive wall.
Yeah.
The point is that it's understandable why Johnny wouldn't want to entertain this guy.
Yeah.
What did you think of the way the Torch was handled otherwise?
Yeah, there's not much to go off of. He doesn't get too many scenes other than like the ending bits.
My favorite art piece in the whole thing is when Johnny, he burns through the roof and then you see Reed stretch his neck up there looking around. It's just a great moment. For me, that was the Johnny moment that I really enjoyed,
Yeah,
art-wise.
that's like really cool. That's nice. And I like that his art is getting more and more fleshed out. You can see his actual person a lot better now.
Yeah.
As far as my favorite character goes, I loved the way Thing is handled in here. His passion for Alicia comes through big time. He horses around with the Torch. At the beginning, when Sue comes to help him out, he shows gratitude by almost breaking her ribs. A very Thing kind of thing. And then he has this great exchange with Reed Richards. Once he finds out that there is a cure for blindness in ancient Egypt, Reed says he's going to take them. And this is a moment where Thing and Reed have been buddies forever because only friends talk to each other like this.
Shades presents Favorite Panel Theater.
He picks Reed up and he says, "Read, you old dictionary reading, double talking, rubber boned egghead. What are we standing around here jawing for? Let's go."
Ben, you hot-tempered, loud-mouthed, beetle-brained gargoyle. That's what I was waiting for you to say.